There's a double lot on Austin Street in Henderson County, Texas, with a real cabin still standing on it. 14 mature trees, full city services already run to the property line, and a price tag of $35,000. That's less than a lot of people just paid for a pickup truck. It's had a $7,000 price cut and it's still sitting there. And here's the strange part. This isn't some forgotten property out past the edge of nowhere. It's in a town that is, no joke, actually named Log Cabin, Texas. Zoom out and the paradox gets bigger. The median home price across the entire state of Texas is sitting around $345,000 right now. But drive about 70 miles southeast of Dallas, past Cedar Creek Lake, into Henderson County, and you'll find real cabins, real listings, real addresses going for a fraction of that. So today we're counting down 10 real log cabins and lake cabins currently listed for sale in and around the town of Log Cabin, Texas, starting with the most expensive and working our way down to the cheapest. Every single one of these is a live listing with a real address, a real price, and in most cases, a price cut that tells you the seller has already been waiting a while. And that last one, the one we opened with, is the best deal on this entire list. The reason it's still sitting there, unsold, is the one nobody in real estate seems to want to explain to regular buyers. Stick around, because by the end of this you'll understand exactly why. And you'll probably start looking at fixer-upper listings a little differently. Before we get into number one, if you're the kind of person who likes finding property nobody else is looking at, go ahead and hit subscribe, because we dig up 10 new ones every single week and most of them never show up in a normal search. And I'm curious about something. Drop a comment and tell me what state you're watching this from, because a surprising number of you are closer to Cedar Creek Lake than you probably think. And some of these prices might genuinely surprise your local agent too. Let's start at the top of the list. This one has a boat dock with new decking, a fully glassed sunroom, and views of open water from 2 different angles of the house. 5459 Woodland Shores Drive sits inside a gated section of the Log Cabin Estates community, tucked against Cedar Creek Lake. And it's the priciest property we found this week at $849,000, down $50,000 from where it started. The home itself is 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, 2,674 square feet, with vaulted ceilings, a stone fireplace, and an open layout that flows straight into the entertaining space. The lot is just over half an acre, and this is the rare one on today's list with genuine open water frontage plus a protected cove, which on a reservoir like Cedar Creek is not something you get twice. Inside, the laundry mudroom and covered rear patio add the kind of everyday function that photos don't always sell well. And the 2-car garage means you're not fighting for space with kayaks and lake gear every weekend. The neighborhood has a boat ramp, a park, and a low ho of $38 a month. Henderson County's seat is Athens, about 20 minutes off, home to the nearest hospital. UT Health East Texas Athens and Highway 31 gets you out to the interstate corridor toward Dallas without much trouble. So why is a genuinely beautiful lakefront home sitting on the market at this price point instead of moving fast? It comes down to insurance. Waterfront property on Texas reservoirs has seen homeowners and flood insurance premiums climb hard the last few years. And at this price range, a lender wants to see that annual premium locked in before closing. Buyers who can afford $800,000 for a lake house are often the pickiest shoppers in the market. And a lot of them are waiting to see where insurance costs settle before they commit. Annual property tax here runs close to $8,900 a year based on Henderson County's current rate, listed at $849,000. Next up, We head inland just a few miles to a 10-acre spread wedged directly between two established lake developments. Property number 2 is 6,681 Farm to Market Road 3054. Half a mile from Cedar Creek Lake, sitting on 10 full acres between the Bluffs and Cedar Creek Ranch subdivisions. This is a brick ranch-style home, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, 1,670 square feet, with an attached 2-car carport. The 10 acres is a genuine mix, open pasture on one side and wooded cover on the other. So you get usable land and privacy at the same time, with room for animals, a garden, or just distance between you and the next roofline. There's no public water or hospital right on top of you out here. The closest full-service care is still back through Athens, but the trade-off is a driveway that opens onto real space instead of a subdivision lot. It's currently listed at $299,900, and that's after a $59,000 price cut, which tells you the seller already knows something isn't clicking. Here's the issue. 10 acres is an awkward number for a residential mortgage. It's too much land for most conventional lenders to treat like a normal house purchase. But it's not quite enough to qualify for the agricultural exemptions or ag-focused loan products that make bigger rural tracts easier to finance. Appraisers also struggle here, because there simply aren't many recent sales of 10-acre parcels with a mid-size brick home nearby to compare it against. So the appraisal can come in lower than the asking price and stall the deal before it starts. Annual property tax runs around $3,150, listed at $299,900. From 10 acres of pasture, we shrink down to a brand new build with steel bones on a standard town lot. Property number 3 is 14,217 Alamo Road, a newer construction home built with durable steel framing, low-maintenance metal siding, and a full metal roof sitting right inside the town limits of Log Cabin. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,350 square feet, with soaring ceilings and an open concept floor plan that makes the square footage feel bigger than it is. There's no acreage to speak of here. This is a standard in-town residential lot, but that's kind of the point. It's low maintenance, walkable to neighbors, and close enough to the water for a golf cart ride down to the boat ramp. It's listed at $269,900. Here's the part almost nobody talks about. This town's actual name is a problem for search engines and real estate portals. When a buyer types log cabin homes for sale into a map search expecting rustic timber construction, and instead gets a modern steel-framed house that happens to sit in a town literally called Log Cabin, the mismatch causes people to click away, thinking the algorithm served them the wrong result. Meanwhile, buyers searching for the actual town by name are a small pool to begin with, since most people have never heard of it. The home is priced fairly for what it is. Brand new construction with a metal roof that should outlast most conventional shingles by decades, but it's fighting a naming coincidence most sellers never anticipate. Annual property tax comes in around $2,830, listed at $269,900. Just a few streets over sits a home built for 2 completely different kinds of buyers. And that's exactly the problem. Property number 4 is 14,583 Cherokee Lane, another 2025 build, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,348 square feet, move-in ready with everything already finished. Down $10,000 from its original price to $232,500. Everything inside is finished and ready. No punch list, no waiting on contractors. You close and you move your furniture in. This one markets itself honestly as a fit for first-time buyers, nearby healthcare workers, or lake lovers looking for a relaxed getaway. And that's actually the problem in disguise. It's positioned right in the middle of two very different buyer pools. Full-time residents commuting to Athens or Tyler want a starter home close to work and schools. Weekend lake buyers want proximity to the water and don't care as much about commute times. This house is a genuinely solid fit for both, but it isn't the obvious top pick for either one. So it keeps getting passed over by buyers chasing a more specialized property instead of a flexible one. Annual property tax runs about $2,440, listed at $232,500. From a home stuck between two buyer types, we move to one that's missing something almost every modern buyer filters for automatically. Property number 5 is 14,344 Daniel Boone Lane, sitting on a half-acre lot at the end of a quiet street. 3 bedrooms, but only 1 full bathroom. 1,463 square feet, with a bonus room that could work as a 3rd bedroom, a home office, or a hobby space, plus a recently updated tub and shower, a spacious living room, and a large laundry room with real storage, which is rare to find in this price bracket. It's listed at $225,000. Here's the honest problem. Almost every buyer searching online today sets their filters to 2 bathrooms minimum, especially families, and a 1-bathroom home this size simply never shows up in most people's results. No matter how updated the interior is or how quiet the street sits, it's not a flaw with the house itself. The floor plan is genuinely flexible, and the lot is generous for the area. It's a filter problem baked into how modern buyers search. Annual property tax lands around $2,360, listed at $225,000. That's the halfway mark, and here's where the numbers start getting genuinely strange. Because every single property left on this countdown is priced under $170,000. In a state where the median home costs double that, sometimes more. We're not talking about run-down land in the middle of nowhere either. We're talking about finished homes, some of them brand new. Sitting minutes from Cedar Creek Lake, the 4th largest lake in Texas at more than 32,000 acres. If you've made it this far, go ahead and subscribe now, because the second half of this list gets even harder to explain, and you don't want to miss the reason the very last property on here is still sitting unsold. Property number 6 is 6,120 Payne Road, tucked among the trees on nearly a 1/4 acre, just minutes from Cedar Creek Lake. Remember that $849,000 lakefront place we opened the countdown with? The one with the boat dock and the protected cove? This home sits less than 10 minutes from it. Same lake, same water, at roughly 1/5 of the price. This one started life as a builder's model home, so the finishes are a notch above what you'd expect at this price. And the 792 square feet is laid out efficiently. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, low maintenance from top to bottom. It came with the kind of practical extras that make a move easier, since it was staged to sell people on the whole idea of living small near the lake. Not just the house itself. It's listed at $165,000. The problem here is simple and rarely discussed openly. It's a 1-bedroom home. Most buyers searching this price range are families or couples looking for at least 2 bedrooms, and a single-bedroom floor plan automatically narrows the buyer pool down to singles, retirees, or investors looking for a rental. That's a much smaller slice of the market, even when the home itself, like this one, is genuinely move-in ready and well-built. Annual property tax comes to roughly $1,730, listed at $165,000. From a solo buyer's home, we head to a subdivision where the amenities come with strings attached. Property number 7 is 101 Crocker Drive in the Oak Acres subdivision, a fully updated 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home at 980 square feet, sold furnished and ready to walk into. It sits elevated on its lot with a new front porch and neighborhood views, and residents get access to a community boat ramp, parks, and swimming areas along Cedar Creek Lake. Because it's already furnished, this is close to a turnkey purchase. Someone could realistically buy it and be sleeping there within a couple of weeks of closing. It's listed at $140,000. Here's what slows this one down. Subdivisions like Oak Acres often carry property owner association dues on top of the mortgage and property tax, and while the amenities are real, a lot of cash buyers and first-time buyers unfamiliar with lake communities get cold feet once they see a recurring fee attached to a home this affordable. It feels, to an unfamiliar buyer, like a catch, even when the dues are modest and the access they buy is genuinely valuable. Annual property tax runs close to $1,470, listed at $140,000. Just down the same street sits a nearly identical setup, except this one comes with 3 words in the listing that scare off half the market. Property number 8 is 112 Crocker Drive, also in Oak Acres, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home at 912 square feet on a large corner lot, a very short walk from open water. It's had a $4,000 price drop and now sits at $115,000. Inside, the kitchen and living room share an open concept layout, and there's a decent-sized utility room, so the bones here are genuinely fine. This isn't a gut job. The listing describes it as move-in ready or light fixer-upper, and that phrase alone is doing damage. As is, language like that makes conventional lenders nervous, because most mortgage products require a home to pass inspection without major repair contingencies. And the word fixer in a listing description, even a light one, is often enough for a lender to require a separate renovation loan or a larger down payment. Cash buyers love this kind of listing. Financed buyers, who make up the majority of the market, tend to scroll right past it. Annual property tax comes in around $1,210, listed at $115,000. Now we drop below 6 figures to a cabin so new it hasn't even had time to build a track record. Property number 9 is 14,010 Dock Holiday Drive, a brand new 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom lake cabin at 600 square feet with a privacy fenced backyard, a split-unit heating and cooling system, quartz counters, and a new stove and refrigerator included. It sits in a waterfront area with its own park and boat launch, and because the whole thing was built new, there's no deferred maintenance, no aging roof, no old wiring to worry about. Everything under the hood is current. Already down $9,000, it's listed at $99,000. And here's the reason this one is stuck, and it's not about the home at all. Loan amounts under $100,000 are frankly not very profitable for most banks to underwrite. The fixed costs of originating a mortgage, appraisal, title work, processing, stay roughly the same whether the loan is for $99,000 or $400,000, so a lot of larger lenders either charge higher rates on small loans or decline to offer them at all, pushing buyers toward cash, credit unions, or specialty lenders they may not know exist. A perfectly new, perfectly livable cabin, and the math of the banking industry is what's actually slowing it down. Annual property tax runs about $1,040, listed at $99,000. From a bank's small loan math problem, we land on the property we opened with, and now you finally get the whole story. And that brings us to number 10, the cheapest property on today's list, and the one we open this video with. 14,110 Austin Street, right in the heart of the town of Log Cabin. It's a double lot, fully fenced, shaded by 14 mature trees, with full city services already run to the property, and an existing one-bedroom, one-bathroom structure at 528 square feet still standing on it. Whether someone wants to restore the original cabin, tear down and start fresh, or just use it as a weekend camping base while they figure out their plans, both lots are already zoned and serviced, which most raw land in this county simply isn't. Already cut $7,000, it's listed at just $35,000. So here's the reason nobody's buying it, and it's the one we promised you at the start. This listing is categorized on most real estate portals as a fixer or a land parcel, not as a home, because the existing structure needs real work before anyone could move in comfortably. That single categorization decision means it almost never shows up when regular buyers search for houses for sale, even though what's actually being sold is too legal. Buildable lots with utilities already in place, in a town with lake access nearby, for less than the price of a used car. Someone willing to either restore the existing cabin or build fresh on a second lot is getting land value most buyers never even see, because the search filters quietly sorted it into a different category before a human ever looked at the photos. Annual property tax on this one runs around $370 a year, listed at $35,000. So here's the structural truth connecting every property on this list. It has nothing to do with these homes being unwanted, unlivable, or hidden away in the middle of nowhere. Henderson County isn't shrinking. It's actually grown from a little over 82,000 people in the last census to an estimated 88,600 today. And it sits within easy reach of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro. What's slowing these sales down is almost entirely mechanical. Insurance costs on waterfront property, appraisal gaps on odd-sized acreage, search filters that hide anything labeled a fixer, bathroom and bedroom counts that trip automatic search cutoffs, subdivision dues that spook unfamiliar buyers, listing language that scares off conventional financing, and loan amounts too small for big lenders to want to bother with. None of these 10 properties are sitting because something is fundamentally wrong with them. They're sitting because the way most people search for a home and the way most lenders are set up to finance one simply wasn't built with a $99,000 lake cabin or a $35,000 double lot in mind. That's the opportunity side. The trade-off side is just as real, and it deserves equal airtime. Buying in a small lake town means a longer drive to specialized medical care, a thinner local job market than a big metro offers, fewer choices if you ever need to resell quickly, and for anything under $100,000, you're very likely looking at a cash purchase or a smaller regional lender rather than a big national bank. Financing on the smaller end of this list takes patience and legwork most buyers aren't expecting going in, and several of these Henderson County addresses sit in areas that can qualify for USDA rural development financing for eligible buyers, which is worth asking a local lender about before writing off anything under $100,000 as unbuyable. This is for informational and historical purposes only and is not financial or investment advice. Property values change, and viewers should do their own research or consult a professional before making any purchase decisions. So tell me, out of all 10 cabins on this list, which one would you actually put an offer on? The lakefront place at the top? Or that $35,000 double lot at the bottom? Drop your pick in the comments, and if you want to see what's sitting unsold in another state next, That video's coming very soon.